The Prince and the Outcast Girl. I still remember the day everything changed. The day I saw something that would never leave my mind. It was a hot afternoon, the kind where the air feels heavy and still. I was sweeping the palace courtyard when I saw him. Prince Bakari, the golden son of our land, the future king, kneeling in the dust. Kneeling, and not before a noblewoman or some foreign queen, but before her, Nia, the outcast girl, the girl our village had all but erased. Nia had always been different. The elders said she was born under a red moon, and that was enough for them to label her cursed. Her mother had died bringing her into the world, and her father vanished soon after. From the time she could walk, she was shunned. No one spoke to her, no one offered her a place at the village fire, and no one helped when her roof leaked during the rains. But Nia never let her head hang low. She lived at the edge of the village, in a tiny mud hut near the great baobab tree. I would see her in the market sometimes, trading baskets she wove herself for scraps of food. She moved like a ghost among us, silent and unseen. But to me, Nia was a mystery, a girl with a quiet strength who hummed melodies that made the hairs on my arms stand up. Prince Bakari was the opposite. He was the pride of our people, with his shining robes and his fine horses. He was the dream of every family, the one mothers whispered about to their daughters as they wove by the fire. But to those of us who worked in the palace, Bakari was something else. He was restless. His eyes often wandered past the palace walls, longing for something we couldn't see. It was fate, or maybe the spirits, that led him to Nia. The first time it happened, I was fetching water from the market well. Bakari had slipped away from his guards, as he often did, and wandered to the outskirts of the village. There, under the baobab tree, sat Nia. She was weaving a basket, her hands moving with practiced ease, humming one of her strange, beautiful songs. When Bakari heard it, he stopped in his tracks. I saw his face change. His royal mask of composure fell away, replaced by something raw and curious. Slowly he approached her. "What song is that?" he asked, his voice soft. Nia looked up, startled. Her white brown eyes met his, and for a moment the world seemed to pause. "It's a song my mother sang to me," she said quietly. "I've never heard anything like it," Bakari said, sitting down beside her without a second thought. From that day on, Bakari visited Nia almost daily. He would leave the palace in simple clothes, blending in with the villagers. Under the baobab tree, they laughed, talked, and shared stories. Nia taught him her songs, and in return, he told her tales of the wider world. Slowly, something shifted in him. The restless prince who once seemed hollow began to smile, to laugh, to live. But nothing stays hidden forever. When the queen learned of her son's visits, she was furious. "A prince consorting with an outcast? Have you lost your mind?" she bellowed in the royal chambers. The king, always stern, decreed that Bakari must stop seeing Nia immediately, but Bakari didn't listen. Instead, he became bolder, meeting Nia even under the watchful eyes of the palace guards. One night, I followed him. My curiosity had grown too strong to resist. That's when I saw it, the moment that shook the village to its core. Under the baobab tree, Bakari knelt before Nia. He held out a bracelet made of fine gold and tiny beads, the kind only royalty could afford. "Marry me," he said, his voice trembling. Tears streamed down Nia's face. "Bakari, I can't. The village will never accept me. Your parents will never forgive you." "I don't care," he said, slipping the bracelet onto her wrist. "You are my choice, my only choice." When word of their love reached the elders, the village erupted. People whispered in shock and outrage. The queen raged. The king summoned Bakari to the council and gave him an ultimatum. "Choose your throne or this girl." But Bakari didn't hesitate. I choose her, he declared, his voice steady and sure. The elders expelled them both. The prince and the outcast left the village hand in hand, with nothing but the clothes on their backs and the love in their hearts. Some say they found a new home far away, a place where no one judged them, where they could live freely. Others say they vanished into the mountains, their love becoming a legend whispered around village fires. And me? I stayed behind, but I never forgot them. On quiet nights, when the wind rustles the leaves of the baobab tree, I hear it, the haunting melody of Nia's song carried on the breeze. It reminds me of their courage, their defiance, and the love that defied a kingdom.